Hi everyone, welcome back to another Reddit cheating story. Before we start, please hit the subscribe button and notification bell if you love to watch more cheating stories. Turned out, I was the other guy. This is both for personal therapy and community aid in sharing a story. Not meant for judgments. In 2014, I, 33M, met 31F, AC. Another friend was looking for two other people to fill a lease. We were both single at the time. As soon as she met me, she was hands-on, full hand-holding, even going so far as to suggest we claim to be a couple on the lease. We didn't end up signing, but Amy and I kept talking. While I liked the attention of her attraction and I considered her a friend, the attraction wasn't mutual. She invited me to a friend get-together at her place and was naturally very handsy with me to everyone. Well, late one night after finishing my bouncing shift, I'd started drinking away depression about a week out from having lost an MMA fight. AC came to mind. I texted AC to see if she'd be interested in hanging out, and she told me to come up to her place to watch Netflix and talk. I arrived, one thing led to another and we hooked up. It was not great. The next morning, I felt pretty foolish, and we generally mutually stopped hanging out, running into each other and texting as much. My job pulled me away from town frequently. We would hang out infrequently, and there would always be that weirdness between us about a regrettable and odd hookup. In the summer of 2018, I was, still single, and, preparing to leave for Ghana at the end of the summer for a work project. AC contacted me and expressed interest in hanging out and doing martial arts together before I left. I told her about my personal training martial arts sessions and invited her to watch. While she was not as flirty as before, she was still very physical, granted martial arts tends to be. After the session, I went to give her a high five, and she went for, and I gave her, a double leg takedown. We laughed about it as it was all in good fun, and her technique was solid. We talked about our experiences in martial arts. After the session, she invited me to hang out, play music, and watch movies at her place later that night. I came over that night, and AC had set up her bed for watching TV. After a few hours of playing guitar, writing songs, sharing our old music, talking about our lives, we settled to watch TV. She wanted to show me this wild show called Altered Carbon. As we watched on her bed, she cuddled up to me wearing a lace nightie. I kissed her, and we hooked up. This time was everything our first time hadn't been. The next couple of days, we would do everything together, of course, hooking up here and there. But there was always this weirdness that I felt. Like it didn't feel right that we were together, and there was a constant lump in her throat. If we were at a public place, she wouldn't hold hands, or she would be very careful about when she would kiss me in public. One night, AC invited me to hang out, then go to a concert, with her and her friends. I decided that was the night that we would discuss boundaries and decide what this exactly was. I arrived to see her holding hands and being very close with this one guy we'll call K, and shooting me concerned looks. I put the pieces together right there, but against my better judgment, and because I didn't have a car at the time, I decided to stick around and just get incredibly stoned. Incidentally, I did end up meeting a long-time musician friend that night through this friend group. Later that night, we'd arrived at the bar where the concert would be. AC pulled me aside and told me she's been in a relationship with K for a while, since 2017 or so, and it had been a mistake to let our tryst go that far, and that she's chosen to be with him, but that she cherishes my friendship. I said sure and left it at that. The bouncer that night happened to be my kickboxing/MMA coach and friend, and we talked a bit about it. Our conversation was interrupted by this girl who I ended up exchanging numbers with, but now I'm just boasting. I stayed being friends with AC for a while, in the interests of letting things go and not being a bitter person. But after a while, I just couldn't hang out with her. In 2020, I met my current partner, 32F, and we've been dating ever since. I learned that she also knew AC and her circle of friends, all of whom were shitty and rude to her. I've since stopped hanging out with AC. Blocked her on everything. This was a couple of years ago, and I'm still kind of salty about it. I understand not to expect closure, but writing it out is helping me to let go and move on. Here are some of the best comments from our community. Glad you moved on, dude, that would have been a very toxic relationship. Cheers, mate. Well, you know she ain't marriage or partner material since she cheated on her boyfriend of what, a year and some. She seems to like the new car smell, but still wants old reliable to get her around. Chances are very high if you ever started a real relationship with her, she would have cheated on you with yet a new shiny car after a while. Are you salty because of her being a cheater, or because her friend group was mean to your current partner? It both? Thank you for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Remember to subscribe and hit the notification bell.